All right, so we've talked about the process of co-designing the future. We've talked about how we come to that future. But the question is now, what kinds of processes and technologies will we end up with? Already we're talking about autonomous systems and robotic systems. We're talking about the use of avatars and virtual assistants. And of course the virtual assistants have been there since maybe the late 90s at least, in form, in actual animation that is. But it's all about the embodiment of things in the virtual. Today I was reading a paper about virtual traffic stops. When police want to stop vehicles, how to virtualize that process so that we don't put people at risk on the side of the road, right? So accidents. So in this quest to ensure that what's behind me is sustained in its same pristine nature, we also have this pressure to virtualize. I also read this morning as I was reviewing an email that not only do we acknowledge the place in which we stand, for example, currently I'm standing in the land of the Yuan people, but we also say something about the virtual membership and how that is somewhat real. So there's this tug and push and pull and prod for us to imbue some kind of value-sensitive design, but what values? We spoke about that. Is it about the ecosystem or the biosphere? Is it about animals? Is it about plants? Is it about humans? Is it about the earth itself? What is it about? And so if we can establish how we do certain impact assessments, then we're able to say, all right, this makes sense and that doesn't. But for the greater part, someone might say that's fairly skewed. Depending on my lens, that's skewed. It's not a total view, it's a partial view, but it's a view that I'm willing to bet on for this particular context, right? So it's all about this approach. I mean, Don Norman called it user-centered design. Others call it human-centered design. Others call it value-sensitive design. Others call it engineering by design, or privacy and security by design, or democracy by design, or environmental justice by design, or social justice by design, or child impact assessments by design. And so there's always an imperative, no matter who you are. Don't trust anyone that says, oh, I don't have an imperative. Everyone has an imperative. The question is, can we get the stakeholders to sit around a table, declare their imperatives, declare their biases, and say, that's my vested interest, and we go from there. And so that's what I want you all to think about when you're co-designing the future. What's your imperative? What motivates that imperative? And how are you going to ensure that happens?